Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. Today we're loading up 10 gauge again, and this time we're using some big pellets. I'm talking 375 cal quad buck, which is the biggest size you can load in 12 gauge. Now in 10 gauge you got a lot more room to play with. These fit in the hulls no problem whatsoever. 395 cal, what I call 5/0 buck, is the biggest size you can fit in 10 gauge, and I will be doing a video on that soon. But for now, we're just loading some quad buck, which is again 375 caliber. We're doing 2 loads. The first one is a 12 pellet, 2 1/4 ounce load with buffer. The second one is a 16 pellet load, and with buffer, it's 3 ounces. And that 3 ounce load is moving anywhere between 1100 and 1200 FPS. The powder for the 16 pellet load, 3 ounce, is a little gun, and it's a little bit temperature sensitive depending on, ambient temperature outside. Your velocity can shift between 11 and 1200 FPS. Let's just call it 1150 FPS because that would be right in between 1100 and 1200. Now the hull I'm using, guess what? Ballistic Products finally has some 10 gauge hulls in stock that are not Shadites. Now the Shadite is a good hull, especially the most recent batch they put out. They're out of stock right now. But the first batch I got, the brass on them was really thin. Whenever you go to resize them, the resize ring would smash the rims out, and the shells would no longer chamber. I've had the plastic come off the hull, off the base of the hull, when I'm resizing. With large buckshot loads like the 395 and 375 cal, the hulls tend to rip really bad. Almost guarantee it'll happen. A Mylar wrap does help sometimes, but not all the time. In single shots, the Shadite hulls like to stick in them, but like I said, the most recent batch that they put out seems to be much better. The rims don't squish out near as much, and they seem to last a little bit longer. But back to these Remingtons here. This is a full, actually it's past full, 3.5 inch shell. It measures 3.55 on my calipers. I'll show you here. Alright. We are off. We are set to 0. Right there, you can see it. This is actually amazing how long this hull actually is. Okay, this one's measuring 3.53. But the other few that I've measured have been all 3.55. So, all that extra length over a Shadite. Shadites are 3 3/8 inch, by the way. All that extra length you can get by with a, not get by, but you can load a 3 ounce load in here, no problem whatsoever, fold crimp and everything. They have a low base wad. This hull has tons of capacity. Now, there are downsides, and the biggest being these come unprimed. 50 a bag for 29 bucks. I mean, that's a pretty good price for 10 gauge hulls, but yeah, they don't come primed. They are $4 cheaper than the Shadites though, and a much better hull. The second downside is, you can see here, hopefully, these are not skived or skeeved, whatever. Yeah, these aren't that. These are a little bit difficult to crimp, but you can crimp them just fine. Ballistic Products and Precision Reloading, and probably a few other places, they all sell tools to skiv, or however you pronounce that word. They sell the tool to do that with, and they're inexpensive. I need to get me one, but I mean, they're crimping just fine for me as is. We're roll crimping these today, by the way. But let's continue on with loading this, shall we? I'm using a Winchester primer. I actually went to Steve's Guns in Ashland again. They had some primers. These are Winchesters. So, Winchester primer, Remington hull. Get in there. These primer pockets are tight. Like that Winchester, I had to actually put some pressure on that to get that to go in. But it's in there, it is flush, and I tell you what, that looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get the other one primed. Oh yeah. Ready to go. So like I mentioned earlier, the first one is a 12 pellet load. With buffer, that is 2 1/4 ounces. We're using Blue Dot. You could also use long shot or steel if you have steel powder. This Blue Dot right here, I was in Borders, which is a sporting goods store also in Ashland, Kentucky, and they had some Blue Dot on the shelf for the first time in 3-4 years. There's 40 grains. They had some blue dot, they had red dot, they had green dot in a few weeks ago. They had 300 MP, which is a powder I've been looking for to load some ridiculously heavy 20 gauge shells. 3-inch, 2-ounce load with Alliant 300 MP. That's a TSS only load though. I don't have any TSS shot yet, but we'll get some down the line. Just stay tuned for it. They also had some 2400, which will also do a 3-ounce load, but I cannot find the data for it. I have seen where people in old forums talk about back in the 90s, 80s I think it was, Ballistic Products actually had a load using 2400 for 3 ounces of lead in a 10 gauge, but no one can find the load. Ballistic Products claims it never existed, but several people claim it did. So, who knows. Anyway, next, you'll need an X10X gas seal. You could also use nitro cards to do this. Just build up the same amount. I think this is a 1/4 inch gas seal, so use a 1/4 inch nitro card. Set that right over the powder. I actually like to add a little bit of compression to my blue dot loads, so I'm using Gary Caskey's wad temper here, and giving it some compression. We need a 1/4 inch fiber cushion wad. You can use the whole 1/2 inch, but it's not needed, and it takes up more room in the hull, leading to a taller crimp. I'm roll crimping these, but 1/4 inch lets you have a nice deep set roll. There we go, 1/4 inch. I actually still need that wad tamper. Let's get that down in there, get it flat. Awesome. Now, since the quad buck is too big to go in a shot cup, we are using a Mylar wrap. This is my thin Mylar from Ballistic Products. And yeah, guys, a Mylar wrap actually really helps to tighten up patterns. Me and Josh will be doing a video on that shortly. We've shot a couple loads with Mylar wrap inside full-length wads, and they're just ridiculously tight. We've done it in 20 gauge 3-inch with a number 2 buck load, a 12 gauge 3-inch load, cannot remember the pellet size, but it was buckshot, and 2 3-inch turkey loads out of a 12 gauge, and those patterned, it was 25 yards, but so tight that you'll see the video. One of Josh's friends, his dad took one of my hand loads. It's not on film, sorry, but he decapitated a turkey at 25 yards with one of my hand loads using a 645 choke. Took its head off. So me and Josh replicated the load. 25 yards, I used a 640 choke. It was right here in my H&R partner pump. And the load Josh fired at 25 yards, he had a pattern, not even kidding, you will see it this big. It was insane. So anyway, yeah, Mylar wrap really helps tighten things up, especially inside of a full-length wad. But now we need 12 pellets of 375 cal quad buck. Just drop them in. They stack by twos. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So who was paying attention there? Did you catch what I ended up doing? Because I got off on a rant. I picked up the wrong shell. This one has no powder in it. I put the X12X over nothing, and then the fiber cushion wad and Mylar wrap. If you saw me looking down the hall a second ago, I realized the stack height was just unbelievably low, and then I realized why. That's why. Okay, so let's do that again. X12X gas seal. 1/4 inch fiber cushion wad. The Mylar wrap. Now, 16 pellets of quad buck. They're still in here? Nope. They're in my pocket. 16 pellets of quad buck. Make sure they stack nice and neat, and they did. Now for buffer, I'm using Ballistic Products mix number 47. Get it out here, right there. Mix number 47. Sometimes, you know, when I'm filming these, dumb stuff happens. and this is one of them. There's 2 scoops. It's probably going to need 3. There's 2.5. Lee 2.2 cc dipper. Alright, it looks like that needs 3 scoops of the buffer. Again, Lee 2.2 cc dipper. And on top of that, we're adding a yellow bingo chip, 3/4 inch. Set that aside because I'm loading up the other one. Alright, so I use this screw right here to pull the gas seal and fiber wad back out of the hull. Easy enough. Just a little trick. You guys can actually just take a screw and pull out components like that. No problem at all. Now this bottle of Little Gun here is almost empty, so I'm just going to pour it in my hand. My hands are clean. I just washed them. So no need to comment about any sort of, you're going to get oil on that and ruin the powder. No, I'm not. I just washed my hands with Dawn Ultra. So that's all good and well. We need 45 grains of Little Gun for a 3-ounce load. I felt like it was about 45 grains. 46. Alright, we have our 45 grains back in the bottle with that powder. I have 4 more down here under the dresser. So, no shortage of Little Gun there. Now, we need our X12X gas seal. Set that right in there. Little Gun can't compress because it's very dense, fine flake powder. It's ball powder, very, very fine. Like imagine long shot, but each granule is the third of the size. That's what Little Gun is. Now we need a 1/4 inch fiber cushion wad. The Mylar wrap. If you guys have never shot one of these 3-ounce loads, if you have a 10 gauge, they don't kick as bad as you think they might. It's definitely more recoil than 2 2.25 ounce loads, but it's completely manageable. If you've watched our 12 gauge versus 10 gauge videos, you've seen me bench rest a 3-ounce load. It's no problem. 16 pellets of my tumbled, polished, hard cast, really hard cast 375 cal quad buck, powder coated. Powder coated pink. I don't know what's wrong with my voice. But yeah, 16 pellets of it. Gotta get these stacked right. There we go. We still have plenty of room left to roll. And yeah, guys, we will be patterning these loads. Just stay tuned. We'll do another 10 gauge buckshot video. Always enjoy doing those. Alright, so that took 3.5 scoops of buffer. We are ready to roll these. Again, 3/4 inch bingo chip. This one's yellow. I guess because Remington is green and yellow. Alrighty guys, we got them rolled up. Here's the height difference between the 2 loads. Trying to show you here. It's maybe 1/8 of an inch because this is a 3-ounce load. I did drop this one after I rolled it and cracked the bingo chip. I think you can see it. But that's fine. It's not going nowhere. This one is fine. I didn't drop it. 2 very good looking shells. That olive green and the yellow go great together. Oops, almost dropped it. You can see them big old pellets in there. Looking menacing. Well guys, appreciate you watching this one. If you got any questions or comments, leave it in the comments section down below. We will get back to you. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you want to, go check out our Patreon. A link to that will be in the description below, as well as a link to our Instagram and our Rumble accounts. But until next time, you take it easy. We'll see you in the next one.